So whatever you do, don't tell anybody where you bury the bodies.
Just after I started recording. Well done. Literally, the first words out of your mouth after I hit the button labeled "Start Recording." It's people say my comedy timing's bad. Good evening, everyone.
I didn't know you were about to press the button.
He
Good,
literally said he was going to.
yeah. Good evening, everyone. It's Omega here with Shieltar and Basil,
Hello.
Hello.
and we're going to be doing some art tonight. We're going to be doing some questions and just general topic chatting. I'm actually tonight, one of my projects I'm going to be doing tonight is I'm going to be working on a picture to go with the fact that I actually don't have a picture for chat streams. I really could do with one. I don't do them very often, but it'd be a nice thing to have.
Mm,
It's like the same
sorry,
with
I'm
this.
like,
It's like the same with this picture of Ashley doing the old test board picture. I know the American one's massively different from ours, but ours was weird, wasn't it,
I
Rob?
don't think we have it anymore, do we?
No, because the channels don't shut down anymore.
Yeah, they do. They just go black.
Hmm. You know what? I'm going to look this up. Okay.
Either that or they switch over to television adverts.
1998.
mm,
The BBC test card, known as Test Card F, which shows Miss Hearsey wearing a red dress, a red shirt and red hairband, and Bobbles the Clown, surrounded by colour scales and text graphics, was transmitted from 1967 till 1998. Aliens are going to be very confused. Like they've been watching Earth for like 1,000 years ago. Well, they seem to be really obsessed with this one little girl and a doll. So, right, let's get on with some stuff. Um, who wants to start on the topic?
I don't know.
Well,
Only thing right now I've been doing right now has been being with my brother. Went out to eat, saw an interesting game, card and game store, and right now I'm been trying to relax, and I'm and on the side I've been playing Super Robot Wars V.
yeah, didn't know you could get a robot down to go down a set of sewers. Well, all games have to have a sewer level, and arguably it started with Mario.
I don't know if I do not think this counts. Well, I guess you could say that sewer level counts if the sewer is Earth right now, because holy shit, every Earth has an issue. Because this is like it's weird because there's three different versions of Earth.
Are we talking about real life, Mario, or the game you're playing?
The game I'm playing,
Ah,
because like there's interdimensional travel in the game.
hmm.
So you have the Earth that you start off with, which has the best freaking battleship of all time, space battleship of all time, the Yamato.
Oh god, the one that is just a battleship but in space.
Yes,
Oh lord.
it's a good freaking. The music's great and the ship is amazing, like borderline overpowered as hell.
That's from an anime, isn't it?
Yes, it's from Robotech Star Blazers. If you're English, or
If you're French, it's from I no.
it's but if you get the dub, it's called Space Battleship Yamato, and it's like 21 something. I don't know.
Looking at this design, it's not the most practical. Its arc of fire is not that great.
Not, but it's hilarious. Yeah, Space Battleship Yamato 2199.
God damn it! It's 100 years into the future from Marvel's series 2099.
It literally is
Uh
just a battleship with extra space bits glued on.
the
With extra space bits glued on. Uh,
it has a launcher for fighters. That's what that little hanging thing is.
Yeah, and being a hanging thing, it is glued on.
Yeah, pretty much. The little hull that's in front of the ship, that's a gun. You want to know how powerful it is?
Go on then.
Uh Picture the continent of the United States floating in the air and then suddenly being vaporized.
The United States isn't a continent. Do you mean continental United States?
No, I mean no. You're right. The North America continent. There you
Yes.
go. That's better. I know I'm USA, but I should know better than this.
Mm.
We may be egotistic, but I'm better than this. But yeah, imagine, picture the continent of the United States being vaporized. That's how powerful that gun is. And throughout the entire anime, they only use it a total, I think, 5 times, and they're always in the most desperate situations.
Well, yeah, you only use your "I'm going to obliterate half a planet" gun once or twice. Hello,
To be,
Virtual Sonic.
oh hi, Virtual Sonic. We're doing good.
So we're currently out shouting at each other about a fictional battleship
Well,
in. Well, I suppose the original Yamato is a real ship.
yeah, but a fictional battleship based off of a real battleship.
Yeah.
Which I've never found particularly impressive as a concept for a space battleship, because the the realities of fighting in space are very different to the realities of fighting on a two-dimensional plane.
Well, here's an interesting argument
Real
star
cool.
about starship designs, and one of those is the benefit of turrets over fixed-mounted weaponry. In a space battle, turrets are immensely useful, but they have one big issue. Because they need to be really flexible, you can't have that much power running through them. You can't take big ammunition up because, you'd need to have a massively adjustable munitions chain. Your power supply would be limited as well because if it gets jammed or whatever, you might lose part of your connection.
Unless, of course, it fires energy beams.
Like I said, with your power, but never mind. Also, a direct point-to-point contact rather than cabling, you have the issue of bleed over, and if it's doing by cabling and your turret turns 360 degrees, you're going to start getting into problems.
This is 2199. This is basically 2 decades.
For space
Two
battle,
centuries.
Or 2 centuries, that's what I meant. Ugh.
one of the things that
I'm tired from walking, that's my excuse.
one of the things that the Expanse did, which was very, very smart, and I don't know why everyone else doesn't do it, is when they're about to go into a battle, the first thing they do is deliberately depressurize the entire ship.
Oh yeah.
Because you're about to go into a situation where you're going to get holes punched through everything.
Actually, that's not quite true. You say that, but the oh, what was her name? The Donager. When she went into a battle in the first season and the first book, they just went, "We're going to win this dead easy," and didn't depressurize anything but the outer hull.
Oh, yeah, because they're relying on the outer hull and all the various decks to act as bullet barriers.
They're also relying on the fact that they are a gargantuan battle cruiser that mounts two railgun turrets, 10 forward torpedo tubes, and carries at least a standard complement of 2 frigate corvette class frigates.
Hmm.
She is a powerhouse. You'd have to be either massively insane or massively overpowered to take on a Donager class. Anyway, the Donager gets blown up fairly easily.
I
So
think,
much for
broadly
that.
speaking, they tend to use one of two weapon, well, a few weapon types. Is it the massive fuck off railgun,
The
missiles, and point defense?
the 4 weapons that are mentioned in the Expanse books are railguns, as you say,
Hmm.
which fire tungsten-coated titanium rounds at a significant fraction of C. The PDFs, the point defense, the PDS system, the point defense system, which is basically miniguns.
Trying to take out the incoming missiles.
Yep, torpedoes. Torpedoes, which carry. They don't really bother carrying a warhead because they are the warhead. Their propulsion is the warhead because they carry. They have a what's it called? The reactor that they all use. I can't remember the name of the reactor type. Hello, Hop.
We'll just call it well, it's basically whatever the hell the universe's magic fuel is, because every universe has one.
Epstein
But
drive.
Wave motion drive.
Oh, it's a fusion drive.
Not the oh, well, for your ship, Yamato's is a wave motion device.
Yeah.
Think perpetual energy.
Yeah, but the Expanse works on Newtonian physics for the most part. So it has to be all as close to real as possible.
in other words, they have to think about it rather than basically wave the science fiction equivalent of a magic wand.
They can't Doctor Who this crap.
Alright, let's see. What's all mounted on the Yamato class battleship from Space Battleship Yamato?
We're talking, Hop, about, at the moment, we're talking about spaceships, specifically warships. Oh, the 4th type of weapon that's mentioned in The Expanse that's used as a ship-to-ship weapon.
Alright,
Lasers.
here you go. Just so you know, the first part is mostly aircraft, like fighters and stuff like that. But here, I'll put it in general.
Okay, I won't be bringing that up because it would be heavily broadcast to everyone. But I'll
Yeah,
have a
but
quick glance.
somebody else could.
Ah, yeah. But yeah, lasers, Sorry.
2 missile boats, 2 repair barges, the wave Martian guns. I talked about that. 3 triple-barreled 48 centimeter cannons. They're basically those are the laser guns, I think. 2 triple-barreled 20 millimeter cannons. Those are also
Positronic cannons, did you say?
yeah,
Or positron cannons?
positron shock cannons.
Antimatter weaponry.
Port and starboard anti-aircraft batteries around the bridge tower. 6 forward torpedo launch tubes. 6 aft torpedo tubes. 16 torpedo tubes, 8 per side. Dorsal and ventral mounted missile launchers.
Because a positron is the opposite of an electron. It's the it's the antimatter version of. And
yeah, the wave motion machine is able to produce the energy necessary to create antimatter.
Anyway, as I was saying, lasers, the unsung weapon of choice in the Expanse universe. Very rarely get mentioned, even rarer get used.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 ways of making a laser. One is to have a small portable unit that you use as a defense system on board a station or ship, because they'll cut through a lot of things, but they're a bit underpowered. Use them twice and thing is dead. Stops working. The other laser, and they almost use this, is in Book 3 of The Expanse, when they convert a communication array to a laser cannon. Because the communication array is designed to transmit over 8 light years with minimal signal drop. Because it's attached to a generation chip. Really powerful gun, but again, it's kind of one trick pony. It's all gone quiet.
Yeah. Just check his things quick.
Just
If you have a
put them through.
forward, if you have a fixed mounted gun, you get you can have a longer gun running the length of your ship and have more power through it. It's what the Rocinante has, because she has a dorsal mounted railgun.
I mean, that's what the wave motion gun basically is.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the Expanse universe, if you are a small ship like a frigate style ship, you tend to only carry torpedoes and stuff like that.
Yep.
Because like a railgun is big, it's power hungry, it takes a lot of energy to run, and it takes a lot of space of your ship up. And yet they basically bolt one to the Rocinante because they're earning enough money to be able to do that. In another example of, hey, let's make our heroes always super successful when we're not looking at them.
Oh. Let's see here.
Hello, Cryo.
Hey, Cryo. Let's see here. I don't know, man. My brain is so on because of what we went through. We'll say though that was good exercise. In case you guys don't, since for everyone else in the chat, I went for a walk with my brother to check out where he lives and stuff like that, and I basically went for how long? I think 5, maybe 6 miles.
It's a picture of Andel I'm drawing, Cryo. So I needed a picture for when I do voice chat streams.
The neck isn't quite right.
No, it's not, but then this is only the sketch layer so far, and I'm going to be fixing things as I go.
Dare you yawn on a stream?
I will yawn as much as I want if only you knew how far I walked.
He can yawn if he wants to. He can leave his friends behind.
You can leave your friends behind. They don't yawn. Oh.
I thought it was going to walk 5,000 miles and then walk 5,000 more.
It's 500 miles, but
I think I've
Hey,
already
since when
done
do
that.
I know the words, know the lyrics to songs?
I think you know the ones they're putting on the Ritz by now.
Well, I know at some points it goes.
Yeah, so you watched Young Frankenstein.
Why don't you go where fashion sits? Put it on the Ritz. I'm sorry, but right now, because I'm so exhausted and kind of in a weird mood, I'm on a motorboat.
Sorry? Oh, what, on
the
Andel?
character, yeah, just like flops into, Basil just flops into it.
And that's how she ended up getting permanently trapped under a gargantuan rabbit.
Not permanently, just temporarily.
Just the words, "Get a medic."
That's not a commission. That's what he's drawn for his stream.
Yep. Because we're doing a lot of chat tonight, and it's a little bit harder to focus on stream stuff, on commission stuff. But I will be doing some commission stuff a bit later. Try and get one finished.
I can't help but feel that in that situation, Rob Bunny would be approaching rather sharpish, carrying a crowbar.
Good luck with that.
Who will win, Rob Bunny or just like 18 times the size of Rob Bunny?
I wouldn't know 18 times, but 18 times the weight. Maybe more. Because that's a heavy bun.
Yep. So we were talking about starships, and we're talking about stuff like that. I've actually been writing my book recently. I'm hoping to get it published at some point, if I ever get the bugger finished.
I hope you do too.
Yeah, I'm still working on Beyond Our Sky, and I'm actually. Let's have a quick look how far along we are.
How far are we?
I've got to find
Oh no.
it. I've got to find it first. I have been doing other stories and other bits and stuff like that. There we go. Let's give that a moment to open up, because it is absolutely huge. Word count. It's just the word "arg" over and over and over again. Word count. We're at 153 pages and 77,000 words. Is that stunned silence, or just like you're both shaking your head in disappointment at me? Hello, Crypto 2021.
That's pretty good. To me, that knowing the words and stuff like that, I have no idea what that means. I'm sorry.
Average novel is between 50,000 and 80,000.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's turned out a lot bigger than I was expecting.
Oh, I thought it.
I am admittedly coming to the end of this story. I reckon I've got about 8 chapters left to do, at most. And let's have a look at how many chapters we've got at the moment. 30 chapters that are so far in it. Well, Cryo, if you would like to learn how to draw tonight, why don't we do some stuff and we'll have a look at doing some drawing and teach you some tips. How does that sound? Because Cryo's saying that he hasn't got a character because he can't draw.
Well, I'm
I
always
think it's
good at designing characters, but then again, I charge money for mine, so
Yeah. Also, Cryo is a little bit. He likes his characters on the big side.
are we talking lady chest or man pecs?
either
Lady
or.
pecs.
He can handle
I
big.
fail to see the problem with large lady pecs.
As in muscular women.
Ah, yeah.
And I mean, really big.
I mean, it's not my bag, but meh.
Well, if it's not your bag, put it down.
No, it's got all this cool stuff in it. I want to keep it.
Yeah, but it's not your bag. uh,
Let's see, is that the right style of font?
Excuse me a sec. I'm gonna get something to drink.
I just wish I could do my art show up alongside yours, but hey
Yeah,
ho.
but we haven't got. Actually, you know what? I might be able to do something. I wonder if I can put in a little window capture of a shared screen.
What? So you mean like do a Discord on a second monitor and put that in?
Yes. Da-da-da-da. Discord General. There we go. Right. Before I get that done, what we'll do then is, if you want to start sharing your screen.
Via Discord?
Yep.
Um,
No, 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 no. On this one. And he's gone. Oh dear. Hopefully we'll get him back in a second. Oh, I think that's a stupidly stupid pun.
And I'm back.
As is Sheltar.
Knew it. You guys were making fun of me.
No, we're getting set up for putting Sheltar's content onto a little bit of the stream. I'm going to stick it up there.
Hunter does amazing
Like that.
work, guys. You should commission him sometime.
Let's go. You there, Rob?
Rube?
I don't think he can hear us somehow.
I don't know
there we
how.
go.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Right, how does that look, guys?
Good. Um, if you don't, if you're more interested on the curvy side and more macro, Shelter's great for that. Go
Oh
do
yeah,
him. Go commission him. He's great.
yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, I
There
do muscle, so unfortunately, I don't go with that.
Muscles aren't my forte. I can do them, but
Yeah, they're he needs to practice on them. Just don't ask for anything too big.
Yeah, there we go. So, what do you think of the pun?
That's not punny. It really isn't.
Yeah, they never are with me. So there we go. We've got Shelto in the bottom corner. We've got me for the on most of the monitor, and we've got the three of us on chat. We were talking as well earlier about Basil ruining his legs for all time and going to his brother's local gaming store.
Yup. Ooh, legs are jelly.
So because I've mentioned it a few times on here and in the group in the Discord channel that came across a Kickstarter for a game called Legend of Signum, and it's a pardon me, a Ukrainian gaming company called Signum Games, and it looks like they started out by basically making D&D stuff.
Oh, keep going. I'm just put up. I'm just putting a note about the D&D. You mentioned it. Just keep going.
Which note about D&D?
No. I got something I saw.
Okay.
Just keep going.
They started out looks like they started out making mostly D&D miniatures, some absolutely beautiful sculpts, and then they've made their own game called Legend of Signum, which is a combination of tabletop miniature role playing and deck building.
Nice.
It is relatively new. It's an absolutely wonderful game. Shelter would attest that, wouldn't you, Shelter?
It's fun. Really like the miniatures.
Yeah.
Very well sculpted.
Yes, they are. I'm looking at them right now. They are very nicely sculpted. Anyways, speaking of D&D, when I went there, they're okay. The problem with their current start is they have so much space but very little in it. Kinda.
What's this?
That's my only issue. But they do host tournaments of all kinds there, from video game tournaments to board game tournaments to card game tournaments.
Oh, is this your brother's local gaming store?
Yes,
Well, having a
but
lot.
that's not what. That was not what's cool. I saw up there, hanging out a huge freaking miniature, uh, miniature map set where you could build these 2 castle towers,
Ooh, lovely.
and it is D&D sponsored. It even says D&D on it.
Yeah. Uh. Yeah. I will stick a link to it in the Discord chat later. I'll put up a link that will, if you guys are interested and you buy anything from them, making an account on there, I might get points as a result that I can put towards future purchases for myself. I'm letting you know now so that you don't go, hang on a moment, this idiot's managed to get a load of points off of me. And what do points make?
3 miniatures.
Correct. Or a driving ban or prizes. God, I miss Bruce Forsyth.
Nice to see you.
Nice. If anyone is interested, Bruce Forsyth was an entertainer and game show host in the UK, I think since the late Cretaceous era.
I'm sorry, Shelter, but I think Andel has you beat.
What, the chess department?
Yeah.
Well, I'm very familiar with the whole, oh, my character's got bigger insert thing here than your character. I've never really been interested in playing that game because it's always been a bit of a
One-sided
one-upmanship
argument, yeah.
and yeah. Oh, my character's got bigger than yours because her goes all the way down to the floor. Well, mine are bigger because they go all the way down to the other side of the planet. Oh,
You're not going to be buying the miniatures in Discord. Cryo. I'll put a link to their site. You know what? I'll do that now while I remember. Bup-a-da-bup-a-da-bup.
Hey, Persona. Regardless, I would freaking probably motorboat those two at this point. uh,
So as in this one, I think we can say that my character has definitely had the biggest increase in chest size, going from this
Yep.
all the way.
There's not even a transition. It's just isn't.
Well, there is.
I
Or
need to put
isn't
in a big.
a girl? No, that's a sound effect.
The reason there isn't any transition, whereas normally there would be, is because this is put together from an ad hoc series of scribbles that I did on a stream last year.
No, that's fine. I just find it funny. It makes it better. It makes it better. The fact that just boom,
One
girl.
of the things I really love is the list of ingredients on this menu. The list of the things on that you can buy from the tea shop.
Oh man, I can't see that. Hang on. Give me a sec. Give me a sec.
From the top, it says menu, iced tea, in quotation marks, revenge, because revenge is always best served cold. Relativity. Then we have decaffeinated and decapitated.
Wait, is that Bob?
It is
That's
Bud,
Bud.
yes.
Bud, that's what I meant.
We have a very long running joke where Bud uh, plays pranks on my character, usually turning him into a her or doing some other fun, weird, wacky thing.
Yeah, I'm
I,
not. Sorry, I'm not advocating virtual that you buy anything. I'm just letting you know that this is the company that I have bought some miniatures from. I really like their miniatures. When I first bought them and I was having worries about shipping dates, they were exceptionally good because they kept in touch with me right up until they left the building. At which point I had to rely on the international shipping community, who told me that my items had arrived in the country 2 days after I actually had them in my hands. Which was impressive.
yeah, normally they wait a lot longer to tell you.
Yeah.
Mm. All I got is like $14 to my name at the moment.
Hmm.
Mainly because I did a bunch of gift shopping for some friends for their birthday and my brothers.
Yeah, it's Christmas soon, and I've already started on mine for family members and friends. I have fewer family members to buy for this year than I have had in previous years, sadly. Um, my dad's dad passed away little over 2 years ago now. So that was sad. But no, I'm going a bit off topic. We were talking about nice, happy things like characters with gargantuan gazongas.
And silly transformation sequences.
Yeah.
I think the one that Rob Bunny has purchased has got to be tea chest for extra milk.
I don't think so. What were the other options?
Iced tea.
Yeah, it'd be the
Revenge.
first one.
Apart from that Rob would never drink iced tea.
Hmm.
Relativity, which I'm sure would do something regarding time. Decaffeinated and decapitated, she definitely missed that one.
Mm.
Tea chest for extra milk. Arsenic and thyme. Long Island tea, you can touch the sky. And then
Ooh,
no
that's a
refunds.
Oh, I know which one she's bought then. She's bought no refunds. Oh, that's jittering a bit.
I you I don't think you can refund the drink that you misordered or don't like.
It depends which shop you're in.
I mean, I'm saying in the U.S. I could be wrong. There could be uh states that allow you to do it.
Well, there's actually laws in this country that are much more. Basically, there's a basic. If it's not fit for purpose, you can always get it refunded in this
I
country.
mean, we do too here. If it's moldy or spoiled in some way, yeah, you can't get it
No,
back. But if
no,
it's
you
just
in
not, you don't like the taste.
some places in America you can't, because I've actually looked into this. Your laws basically state that that's automatic unless there is a displayed refund policy, which can include no refunds under any circumstances.
Yeah, so basically your consumer protection exists so long as the shop in question hasn't got a bunch of crayons, a
And some craft
sheet of
paper.
paper and 4 pieces of tape to put
Debatable,
it on a wall.
because games used to have that, and they were freaking. That was thrown out a long time ago. Food is one of those ones where if they're spoiled, you should get a refund.
Well, I
Because that's a
I
health
hope that
hazard.
kind of thing gets rolled out much more widely because good consumer protection is, well, good for everybody.
It's good for the business because they don't get sued out the wazoo all the time, and it's good for the customer because at least they know everything's on the up and up.
I've just
Yeah.
remembered one of the questions I was asked earlier, and that was about eyes. So I'm just going to stick that all together in one folder. Open up another
Eyes are
folder.
brilliant for seeing things with.
Well, they wanted to know how I do eyes, and the answer to that is poorly. So,
Eyes are interesting because depending on your position, depends on how.
bless you.
Uh,
That's just a really basic head ball there. Bridge of the muzzle coming down to the nose. So your tear ducts for when I do Anthro Eyes, I've got like 3 or 4 different styles that I use. This one, the most cartoony style, I tend to use for like children or just in general slightly more cartoony characters. It's only got the one tear duct, which is here, and the bigger, the more expressive.
I think my major issue is always going to be hands and feet.
Oh god, hands
But
and
then
feet.
again,
Yeah.
they're the.
Well, actually, there's a quick tutorial I saw for how to draw hands and feet. For hands, it was get a picture of a turkey and draw around it. No? Okay.
Let's
Oh,
let's
see.
be
I see what
honest.
you've done
Hands
there.
and feet are the bane of any artist.
Especially if your
Yeah.
name starts with the word Rob and ends with the word Liefeld.
Mm. Uh,
I don't
if
say such
anyone's
things
interested
about
in the
Bob
way I
Rice.
do eyes, because it's a bit hard for you to see, I
more
'Cause
feline
when
looking.
if we draw a real eye, it's got kind of going up like that. It's got the actual eyeball around it like that, with a teardrop that's coming off there.
Should we
But
enlarge
nobody
your
wants
window
that.
for a moment?
Yeah,
That's a more realistic eyeball.
Yeah.
yeah. You don't want that for a cartoon. But
No. That is your basic eyeball, or Mark 1 as it's otherwise known.
yeah, but you all want to know how to do cartoon eyes. So if we put that to one side, what you can do is you can take elements from that. So like this bit here is a good bit to nab. And so for cartoon eyes, you can either do it just completely round and just put the eyeball in like that, or you can start adding points to it. And they're basically, broadly speaking, there's 4 places you can add a point to the eyes. And it's basically one at each corner. You can mess with that all around, but move those around. But broadly speaking, that's what you're looking at. So typically you do that. You kind of go around there, down into that one, and that. So that's one eye, or you can go for a more sort of Asian-y type eye where it's you're using that corner and that corner. Or I say Asian-y, it's like sort of more sexy type thing going on.
I love the way that you've just basically jumped in here to interrupt me as I was doing that exact thing and showing how I lay them out.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
because I'll just bring up
All
like
right,
that.
carry on.
Yeah. As Basil said, that's more how I do feline eyes. It's also how I do more attractive eyes. And it is, as Shelto was saying, a more kind of oriental style to the positioning of things.
Yeah. And if you mix and match the which points you use and where you put them, you can vary that to make a character stand out a bit more visually from other characters.
Yeah.
Because their eye shape is different.
Yeah,
But
eye shape is very important.
as Shelto was saying, there are basically 4 points like a very squashed rhombus. To the eye. The other thing, of course, as well is light marks on the eyes as well. Stuff like that, which is helpful because it gives them a bit of a shine to them.
God's eyes are watery.
Well, especially if you've been punched in one.
Personally, I prefer to go for the 2 dot approaches to the eye shines.
Which would be
One
more
in
like...
the iris, one on the edge of the pupil.
Yep.
Or rather, sorry, one on the edge of the pupil and one inside the iris. Get it the right way around.
Yep.
Because one of the advantages of doing it with the dot system is it's a way to fine tweak where you think the eye is looking.
Like that.
If I bring up this eye, that's how I usually structure it.
So you kind of went backwards and forwards over where it was like twice. I lost track.
Yeah.
Yeah. funny because I act. That's funny is I don't draw anymore, but I know what they're talking about. It's hilarious.
So one of the interesting things for me is that you can actually use the normal human eye style to do again the kind of sultry or what is it or heavily coughing that we talked about a moment ago. So point, 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 and point. You know what? Just to cheat, because this is only example. Edit, copy, edit, paste.
Use your program art programs to your advantage. I can't stress that enough. If you're on a computer, use its capabilities to your advantage.
Oh yeah.
There's no, as long as you're not stealing other people's work, there's no such thing as cheating, only working smarter.
Yep. I know people who can do a really good job using freaking what's the word I'm looking for? Mirror. And have that on like 24/7 and able to pull it off somehow.
Again, very basic, but yeah. The other eye that I tend to do is like Andel's eye, which is some combination of the cartoony one and the less cartoon and the more sultry one. And that ironically only has the one tier point. But you can always add eyelash pots to any eye just to give it that to really differentiate between male and female.
Mm-hmm.
It, when it comes to eyelashes, it's kind of weird because technically men have bigger eyelashes than women, but the way human beings perceive reality is not the way reality actually is.
It's
Yep.
interesting that it's bigger, not thicker.
Mm. So we perceive eyelashes a lot more on women than we do on men. But so when you're drawing, you're recreating how the human brain perceives reality, not how reality actually is.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. So a couple of quick questions from bits from Cryo White. Mega, you'll make a lot of money if you have a job that can hire artists such as yourself. No, I wouldn't. I'm actually, by comparison to a lot of artists, I'm not very good. I mean,
Eh, eh,
just look at Shelter for about 5 seconds. And you go, oh wow, no, the guy I'm watching is a hack.
okay, okay. I'm just gonna say this. Shelter has a good grasp of consistency. Omega does not. And that's the huge issue that he has. Let's be honest, you do.
Hmm.
He's getting better.
He is.
I am
Yeah,
consistently inconsistent.
Yeah,
yeah.
you are consistently inconsistent. Um,
There is. Yeah,
uh, um, but I've seen other artists and they blow what Sheltar can do out of the water
Oh
too.
god, yeah. One of our friends is makes the two of us look like we've just started using finger paint.
I know an artist that actually uh Do you guys know a common misconception or know of him?
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant like, do we know a common misconception like, turns out that clouds aren't white, they're actually beige? Go
No,
on.
I mean the artist. A common misconception. I think he's
No,
called.
I don't know him.
Hang on. Just so you know, he isn't. He doesn't like to draw anything naughty, so don't worry that. Yep, there he is. I actually know this guy.
Alright.
Uh, hope you don't mind. I'm posting that here in your chat there.
Okay, I'll have to have a look at that on the tab on there. Okay.
Just
Uh,
doing it there because so that way everybody can click on it,
Wonderful.
even if they don't have Discord. But yeah,
Uh,
I know this guy. He actually works on Teen Titans Go.
well, my opinion of him has just dropped.
so long as he's not in the script department.
Nope. But he's really good.
I can see why you like him. What with all the muscles.
I mean, yeah, that's his major kink. Speaking of, he actually there is an episode of Teen Titans Go where everybody transforms into a into a monster, and he did Beast Boy turning into a freaking werewolf because of course he did.
Beast Boy's
He
already
demanded
turning.
that.
Beast Boy already turns into animals. The joke
No,
with
no,
the
no, werewolf, like
yes,
an actual full-fledged werewolf.
yes, and if you remember the original Teen Titans animated series, when they had them all turn into animals,
By
Mumbo,
Mumbo, the amazing Mumbo.
yeah, when he realised he couldn't do anything to Beast Boy because he automatically turned back, he decided to turn him into furniture, which was funny.
Yeah, yeah, it
Oh
really
yeah,
was.
that was a good one. Oh, by the way,
Um,
but hang on, let's see if I can't find that scene.
well, before you do, there's one more thing I kind of want to say about eyes. It's one of the things that a lot of people think about eyes that's wrong is they think that both our eyes are orientated in the same way. And because
They're not.
you can prove that if you feel where the corners of your eyes are, and you'll notice the corners nearest your nose are a lot further forwards than the corners of your eyes furthest away from your nose. So if you that what that means is that from the top down, what people think, how people tend to draw the eyes is they tend to draw them like that, uh, which is wrong because what you should be doing is drawing them as if they're
With
like
your
that.
head skull.
So if I were to, give this guy this eye and just copy paste it,
Yeah, it's not gonna look good. Trust me on that.
Ah, Mr.
it's
Picasso, it's good to see you again.
uh, flip it -100 and just scale it down
Yeah.
so further away.
Also,
It
Cryo,
looks very, very wrong.
thank you for the vote of confidence there, Cryo. But literally, I'm not a pro. I'm not a professional artist.
Mm.
If
So
he
what you do is you
was, he wouldn't
just
be selling his
squish it very much
commissions
and move it
for
closer in,
penance.
and then you just bring in that
Although, I suppose, actually, in
and
the
there you go.
most loose term of the word, I am, because I have been paid for artwork.
Actually, you know what? That is a good point. You are being paid for artwork. That is a term of professional, but it's not your profession. Your
No.
profession is something else.
My profession is driving around in a very big circle.
And a
The best
complicated
kind of
circle as
circle.
well. Don't forget complicated.
Hmm. Yeah, my actual day job is delivery driver.
Uh,
Which I've actually moved from
there's the
Argos.
scene that he drew.
Hmm?
or animated.
Okay. But yeah,
I'm sorry, that's actually good. Oh no, not the moon rabies.
I mean, that is why in the large deliveries thing, and huge busted Andel, Giantess Andel is delivering for Argus.
which most of these people don't know about that series because you haven't started posting it anywhere yet.
I thought you'd started posting it here.
No, I actually, when you asked me, did I want to post it or did you, I said, no, you can post it.
Oh, okay, I thought you'd start
I think
posting it.
I've shared
Uh,
the occasional page, but it's been a while.
Mm.
It has been a while,
Yes.
and I think I've seen it.
But speaking of stuff like that, we have been working on a short story that Sheltar is illustrating and I am writing that will be available for some monies. We're not sure
Yay!
how much monies yet, but it's a short story.
Aw, Cryo's got sympathy for you.
Yeah. Doopy doopy doop. Let's find out how many words.
Too many. That's how many words. Too many.
What story involving giant boobs and macros? Too many words.
Preposterous.
Uh, ooh, 4,000 word.
Ooh,
Almost,
that is a lot.
almost exactly 4,000 words. It will be illustrated as well. We're not sure how we're going to be distributing it, but
We'll figure something out.
yeah, this as well as working on a comic that we're hoping to start doing some proper stuff with. What, next year or the year after?
Yeah.
Once Sheltar has finished with his current, I want to say labour of love, but I think it's a slightly more abusive relationship than that nowadays, isn't it?
It was originally Labour of Love. Now it's a case of I just want it finished.
Oh, you mean Birth of Equestria?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't worry. I totally understand that.
I've
That is a
invested
very
too much
long
time and
picture.
effort and love into it to allow it to just end in the middle of nowhere where it's about 10, 15 pages away from completion.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
But I'm in the middle of what I consider a good problem. I'm generally too busy.
Oh
no.
he's
As I say, good problem.
too busy doing arts for people's.
Too long, Hop. Too long. It's been going on, I think, since 2015, maybe 2014.
I think is it season 2 or 3 of Friendship
Just
is
before
Magic.
season 2 it started.
Oh God, in the before times.
And
Yeah,
before,
and I
the
know this
before.
because the startup discussion involved how things that only exist in season 1 made no sense.
Yes, before they started trying to desperately explain how these things worked.
Back when back when a steam engine was being pulled by 4 ponies. Why have a
Let
steam engine if it's being pulled by ponies?
let's see here. So video game news on the terms of remakes. Uh, Diablo 2 remaster is pretty alright. And don't get the GTA trilogy.
Yeah, it's apparently really, really bad.
Is it
And it's
just is it two forms of rubbish combined?
But basically,
how
what they did was they took the mobile phone version and remastered that. to make the remastered PC
So
version.
so we're 4 times as rubbish.
No, because I think it might just be 2 because it's garbage and trash amalgamated.
Here's the thing: the mobile is based off of the PC port.
I don't think he got the pun there, did you?
Oh, I guess not.
Garbage and trash amalgamated. GTA.
You know, oh, the alliteration.
Well, it's not
Good one.
alliteration. It's just another.
Oh, I know why I didn't get it. It's
Why?
a pun that requires you to think about it, and well, because I know you so well,
Yes.
I try my best not to.
Yes. As it is, I am not going to torture everyone with the one I came up with for Halloween because I think I might get. I don't actually make money from this, but I might get demonetized anyway. Just never, no matter how proud I am of that particular bit of wordplay. Right. Any other topics you want to talk about? Has anyone got any questions they'd like to ask when it comes to drawing? You got 2 artists here. One of them competent, and the other one me.
More competent than I am. I haven't drawn in years. 2 decades to be exactly.
Well, tell you what, Basil. I actually think that we should all give drawing a go for stuff like that. I know that End has been doing some drawing, hasn't he?
And
Yeah, or Sterico. He's been doing some drawing recently, and he's been sharing it in the group chat. Well, what question would you like to ask, Cryo?
uh,
Because it's gone a little bit quiet for the moment.
it's not new. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond is a remake of the original Pokemon Diamond and Pearl games.
Mm,
Remaster. How about that?
amongst other things, it's completely different aspect ratio, all new assets.
Yeah, like I said, a remaster.
That's not a remaster.
Like the new Spyro game isn't a remaster; it's a remake.
Okay, so remake it.
No,
That's what
no,
I said.
Cry. That's
Or,
not.
or you could say it's a recreation.
Yeah, sorry, Cry. That's not a question. That is a request. We're actually looking at questions about art and how things are done, aren't we, guys?
Yeah. I haven't looked up on that. I'm gonna look to see how it's doing since it is out. The new Pokemon game is out.
Hmm.
I think.
Ah, there you go. It was a large vegetable with very big leaves. It was leaked.
Okay. The general consensus is it's good, but it's not Heart Gold Soul Silver.
Well, Gold and Silver were exceptional games,
And then
and I think you're going to be hard pressed to find a new game for that is quite as good.
Well, it's not. It's not so much that. It's the fact that you're looking at a game that was released like a year or two after the original, after the first game, and then you had almost over a decade of improvements, and then you take those decade of improvements and apply it to gold and silver.
Hop says that Heart Gold and Soul Silver are overrated, and overrated is the correct one.
It was overrated. I don't know. They stuck to the original one game while improving everything that it need to be.
Hmm.
The problem with Heart Gold Soul Silver is the fact that outside the graphics that needed to be improved, everything that's all everything that's now in Pokemon now was in Pearl, Diamond and Pearl. The special physical split that was in Diamond and Pearl. So there isn't much to change there. Improving the underground though, that's a necessity.
Oh God, you remember being able to build your own little base under there?
Yes, I remember that, and it was so good. I
I
had
keep
so much
waiting for that
fun.
to come back, but no.
Game Freak is allergic to success.
No, they're not. If they were,
Yes,
they
they
wouldn't have.
are.
They wouldn't have kept making Pokemon games
Then why do they keep on throwing out features?
because they replaced them with weirder ones. You know,
I'm gonna be honest. The weakest Pokemon game of all time, despite me enjoying it, X and Y.
not Snap.
No, X and Y.
Okay.
And I'm talking about mainstream title. I have never played Snap, eh.
Personally, I haven't really played Pokemon since Yellow.
Yeah, that's Gen 1. Yellow, all it is a modified. It's basically a ROM hack of the first two game. The first
Yeah,
game.
I mean, as far as I can tell, it hasn't changed all that much since Yellow, apart from new Pokemon and a handful of
The
new.
special the special physical split is a huge difference. No longer do you have to be like, oh, Ghost is physical or something like that. No, every type has a move that's physical or special. That's a huge, huge improvement.
Hmm.
Because you can, for like a Pokemon like Lucario, which can be a special attacker or a physical attacker, you can have special attacks or physical attacks. And there are special fighting moves. It's one of those things where it's a huge difference. I would say straight up that you can from the first Pokemon game all the way up to Diamond and Pearl, you can skip all that, and then all of a sudden you'd be hit with a whole bunch of extra shit.
Hmm. That's a slightly weird question, Cryo. Cryo asks, um, which element is your number one favorite element? Heat slash fire, ice slash cold, electricity slash lightning, water, earth, wind slash air, darkness slash shadow, or light.
I would go with air because I like breathing.
I'm sorry, but I would have to mix air with lightning, surprisingly enough. I know some places separate it, but
It is an odd question. But I think I'm going to go
weird.
say that my favourite element I think is probably manganese.
Any particular reason?
Because I like to screw with people. Manganese is not a element. Manganese is a compound. Magnesium is an element.
I would have to say water, because
That's
it's
the
the
compound.
foundation of all. It's a
My favourite compound has to be robot nicotine, because I love the name.
I think my favourite compound is possibly Area 51.
stop, please.
And Cryo White just admitted that he wants to freeze things instantaneously. This is, I think, the origins of a Batman villain. Oh, here's one for you. Film coming out next year. There's a couple of animated movies coming out next year, one of which I'm really looking forward to, and that is the Lightyear movie. Hello?
Cautiously optimistic.
Yes. Well, I hear there's quite a lot of buzz about it. The one that is confusing me, however, is the Super Pets one.
My issue with that, with everything here, is the I just don't like what's the word I'm looking for?
Fun.
Oh, hang on. What? Your lamp.
What?
Anyways, ugh. The problem I have is that Disney seems to like to try to go live action, or closest to it as possible.
This is Pixar. So,
Who owns Pixar?
I know Disney owns
Disney,
Pixar,
kind of.
but this is the issue, right? If Disney only did animated movies through Pixar, then and with like none of their own department doing stuff, then why do they have their own animation department?
The
Disney's
problem I
animation
have.
department is separate from Pixar's. It's like I used to work for Argos, I now work for Sainsbury's, but Sainsbury's owns Argos. They are technically the same company, but they both do and they both do home deliveries, but they do them in very different ways. And also, Pixar have always made it as part of their contract with Disney that they will not do a movie if they don't see any reason to. Like, for example, when they wanted Pixar to make planes, Pixar flat out said no. So they're Disney animated studio, and you can tell.
Decided, you know what? We'll make it ourselves.
Yeah.
One thing I hate though is they call Pixar called the CGI Lion King.
They called it what?
They call it live action.
No,
Yeah, it's
that's not
really
Pixar
not.
calling that. That's Disney calling it that.
That's
Yeah,
yeah,
there's a
Disney.
thing with Pixar and Disney. People get them confused.
Yeah.
Just because it's Disney and animated does not make it Pixar. All post boxes are red, but not all red things are post boxes. That's the scenario. All Pixar products are CG animated. Not all CG animated things are Pixar.
We don't have red pick. post boxes.
Well, that's because you're backwards.
Ours are blue.
No, no, that you see, you've messed up again. That's for telephone booths that take you through time.
No, that's my police booth.
Okay, then
I
not all four-sided objects are squares.
our squares are four-sided objects.
Yep.
Unless they're a box, then you're screwed.
In which case, it has six sides.
Yep.
8.
And you're not so much screwed as cubed.
Cubes actually have 8 sides.
Cube has 6.
No, no,
It
no,
has
no.
8 edges.
No, it has 6 sides. Because you're forgetting the inside and outside.
I will smack you.
That, if you're counting the inside and outside, that would make it 12 sides.
Never mind. You must be hilarious. You must be absolutely
Oh my
hilarious when someone
god,
does
technically.
when someone does the
He
Spock
beat
joke.
you.
Actually, I think, let's see. For
He destroyed your pawn with facts and logic.
actually, a cube has 12 edges.
Yep.
So no, 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 no. The other, yeah, but as I say, I'm not so sure about the animated Super Pets movie. I mean, if I was a vain man, I'd say it looks like they've seen what I'm doing with the Streaky comic and gone, we can't have that.
I mean, I personally think they should just stick to making something people actually want to see, like the Rescue Rangers movie.
Oh God,
Yeah, everybody wants to see Rescue Rangers. Dun, dun,
I
dun, dun,
really hope that at some point during the Rescue Rangers movie,
dun,
they have
dun,
they show the characters in CG cartoon mode, and then as soon as they flip to the human perspective, all you see is a couple of live action rodents scurrying along, dressed up in the Rangers
Good luck
outfits,
with
and
that.
then it cuts straight back to CG.
isn't that
Good
the
luck
plot of the
with
movie
that.
G-Force?
I don't
Oh
know.
no.
I think if I would have to, if, to be certain, I'd have to ask the 2 or 3 people who saw it who haven't committed suicide since.
Ugh. The fact that I never heard of this movie, I'm already terrified.
What G-Force?
Yes.
Imagine Spy Kids, but guinea pigs.
Oh god, no, 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 you can't make me.
The immediate sense of absolute horror.
The immediate sense of exactly what barrel were they scraping to get this idea?
The, somebody got visited by Freddy Krueger in their sleep, and instead of being in fear for their life, they're like, "Oh, inspiration!"
Are they going back to doing the Rescue Rangers movie? I thought that was on in production
Mm,
hell.
it's on and off. It's debatable whether it'll ever happen.
Yeah,
I
production
hope,
hell.
I hope they do a good Darkwing movie or remake or whatever, because they set it up pretty good with Ducktales.
Hmm.
Only time will tell.
Actually, I'd like a Darkwing series personally.
Yeah.
I would love
Hello,
a
End.
Darkwing series.
Do you want to join
You know
us
what I
in?
find hilarious? That Bonkers is actually a a police cop in Duckbird.
Was he?
Yes, in the Darkwing episode when all those familiar villains came out.
That was Saint Canard.
Nope, That was DuckTales.
Yeah, but
Or
no, no, yeah,
Bonkers.
yeah, no. Saint Canard is the city that they were in. Saint Canard is the city from Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, yep. He's a police officer uh in Saint Canard.
And with that, I drop a microphone and leave the room. Then remember
Yes.
that this is my stream and come back.
So yes, that's great continuity right there.
Yes. When it comes to completely pointless trivia, don't try to school me. I had a very long conversation on Monday about the different enterprises and exactly what screwed them over.
See, when you say "don't school me," I immediately want to ask you questions about the demon
I would
headmaster.
I would say
Ooh.
what happened to the Enterprise oh man, I think it was the Enterprise L. I'm not entirely sure, but then I realized, oh right, what screwed it over? It was in a very bad plot element
The Enterprise, I
and
think
a
it was the
bad
Enterprise
show.
J
Yeah,
from that
Enterprise
one
J.
episode of Star Trek Enterprise. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, and like I said, but no, what screwed it over is the fact that it was inside a really bad plot in a really bad show.
I'll tell you exactly what happened to her. She finished the Sphere Builder War and returned to her mission of charting sectors in the outer edge of the Alpha and Beta Quadrant, and then was decommissioned with no
Eh,
further incident. Thus proving that it's an alternate timeline that doesn't match the rest of Star Trek because something horrific always happens to the Enterprise.
Yes, I mean, how can you have an enterprise that doesn't end horrific? Have some horrific something happen to it? Like,
yeah,
Let's see, the Enterprise NX-01 was the basis for Riker making a really stupid decision, which he actually made the exact opposite of in the episode they were referencing. The original series Enterprise got blown up by Kirk. The A got decommissioned and possibly became another ship because she had originally been the Yorktown.
B.
The D got infected with the plague and was deliberately scuttled so that the crew could never go back to the Federation and spread it.
D?
The B.
Ah,
C.
The C got destroyed over Kittimer Colony by Romulan warbirds.
D.
The D got blown up by the Duras sisters and then got crashed into a planet by Riker.
And E. I do not know if it got destroyed. I actually do not.
That's debatable because the timeline got really screwed up by the existence of the TV series Picard. Originally, she was handed to her new captain, Data,
What?
who had
No, Data died.
no. Let me finish. Who had emerged from the memory engrams that he'd given to B4, and basically replaced the almost non-existent personality that B4 had.
Yeah, and then Picard screwed it over.
Yeah.
Though at the same time, I still love the final. Uh, I still like the final goodbye to Data though. Like it got me teared up.
What, they never saw the sun?
No. The one where where Data and Picard, where Picard is in Data's mindscape basically because
Is that
his
in the
body
series
died.
Picard?
Yeah, in the series Picard.
Yeah, I haven't seen the series Picard. I have no real interest.
There is a very lovely scene where where Picard and Data have one last talk to say goodbye one last time.
Again, that would require me to care about the series Picard.
Oh no, that's totally fine. But I still like that
Has
scene.
Cryo
I
gone for
didn't
dinner
watch
twice
Picard,
now?
but I haven't seen Picard.
Hmm.
Just that segment and that I love that. If that was in any other if it wasn't Picard being shit, that would have been a lovely scene. That would have been the best. That would have been really good. But the
Yeah,
entire series is shit. That's like the only good part of the entire series.
the one that I've been enjoying is Lower Decks.
A lot of people hate Lower Decks. I don't
I
know
think
why.
I think I know why. They think that it's trying to be canon to the original Star Trek universe, when it's not. It's canon to the original cartoon universe, which has a one-directional canonical connection to the original universe. What happens in the original universe is canon to the cartoon, but not the other way around. Because they don't know that, they think every time that Lower Decks is silly, it is besmirching the integrity of the original live action universe when it's not.
Hmm.
You know what I think it is?
Go on.
Federation propaganda.
Well, the other possibility is that it could just be uh, fatigue from all the terribleness that's come before, and people are just getting hypersensitive to everything they think is bad regarding Star Trek.
I think it's people who are in denial about how bad um, Picard and Discovery were, and when they see something that is actually good, they can't accept it, so they have to lash out.
I mean, can you
And I
blame
don't
them?
think they're in denial about it. I think they very much know about it, and that's why they're complaining about Picard
No, no, no.
and
They
Codex.
they go, oh, Discovery and Picard are amazing because it's continuity for these characters who'd already had their plots ended, and this character who was made up entirely. And then, oh, look, here comes one that's actually got its own unique characters and plot, and they go, I am feeling things with this that I do not feel with the other ones, and I have decided that these must therefore be hated.
Oh, so you're suggesting that it basically fans of one hate the other.
Yeah, because it gives them different feelings, and they've convinced themselves that the gut wrenching feelings and the vomit rising up their throat when they watch Picard and Discovery are good feelings, and the relaxed feelings and laughter that get generated by Lower Decks must therefore be possibly cancer.
I mean, if you're going to go for the cynical route, I, on the other hand, think it's a very clear and obvious conspiracy.
To do what?
I'm being silly because you're cynical. Can't get more cynical than conspiracy theories. That's my thinking.
Man, I
Not
wish
every
I had
joke
a lot more
works,
money.
damn it.
Because then I'd definitely commission you for
Hmm?
that one picture that I
Yeah, you're very
remember that
quiet.
okay. You know that one picture you know that one image that one idea I had about me just passing on into Andel's chest and just motorboating it. Yeah, I was gonna commission that, but I don't have the money for that. At least not for the extra character.
How does that look?
Looks good, to be honest.
Let's do some colouring, shall we?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for now.
Okay. Oh, Shelter, can you send me across that colour swatch you have?
Oh, what for Andel and
Yes.
uh? Okay. Um, let's see. Large deliveries. Bring up Mega. Drop. Done.
Right, let's just put that down for a moment while I grab that.
I've got it up here. I should probably add the secondary eye colours to these characters. These eyes colours have changed.
Yes, Andy, would you like to join us on voice chat? Apparently not.
Darkness. I can save that.
Oh, here's a little something that I do tend to do to help me find areas which I haven't done yet. Is essentially that, fill in a block colour underneath so I can spot areas that haven't necessarily been done yet. Just as a another thing that I do.
Oh yeah. One thing that I tend to do with stuff like that is I'll fill in the whole character using an area fill. Kill the blow a hole in the areas around it, so that way you don't get any stray pixels. But simply being a perfectionist,
Hmm.
for the most part, it's not necessary. Do what I told you to do. Control X. Control V. Manual one of these images.
I haven't done pupils in ages. I normally just bother with a solid colour of the eye. But I decided that today I'm going to be different and go with proper pupils. So, any more questions that anyone wants to ask? It's gone very quiet again. So, what should we talk about?
Meaning of life, the universe, and everything.
Well, that's 42.
Oh, it's easy. How about something more complicated? Are boobs good?
Well, actually, how about those eyes there?
Yeah, they're pretty good. I will say that what you might want to do is you might want to put the dots in the position which right. You know how where you put the pupils in the eye position to indicate where the character is looking?
Yeah.
If you do the exact same trick with the eye highlight dot, it doubles down on where you think the character is looking.
So, like that.
I'll just wait for it to propagate into the video.
That's taken a while.
Yeah.
Okay, that's that done then.
It's mm, I've found that it can be a useful way of fine-tuning where you think the character is looking because it your brain it is not technically accurate, but it works in a way that your brain interprets it in that fashion. That
Mhm.
makes sense. It's like what I said. You do what you're drawing what the human brain interprets as reality, not what actually is reality. I mean, if we were only doing what was interpreted as reality, we wouldn't be able to do things like ridiculously enormous breasts or insanely impossible muscles.
Or anthros at all.
Yeah. Oh, they're totally going to be possible but by the time we're too old to enjoy it. If you want to be depressive.
Mm.
It would be interesting if we did live in a world where it was possible to become an actual furry.
Actual Anthro.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I mean, I wonder how many furries out there would actually take that option if it was available.
Hard to be sure.
So was the color swatch thing useful?
Yep.
Any colors you found that were missing?
No, she's not got a lot of collars on her.
Well, it doesn't have the inner ear color you're using.
Actually, it's the same mouth colour. It's the same
Oh,
inner
so
ear
it's
colour.
just the standard color you use.
It's the same ear colour as for Bunny.
Ah, so you're using Rob's ear color.
Yeah, because I came to the conclusion that we both have skin.
Mhm.
The end.
Yeah, I mean there is one more color I need to put on there because I started doing using another one for the ears. Just the inner ears have technically got two colors
Hmm.
because I've got a darker skin color and I just spray that in the bottom to replicate the shadows of the inner ear, the deeper ear section.
Hmm.
Right, very nearly completed. Oh, apparently it already has a signature on it, not that I can really see it. I'll delete that signature and put the flipping new one that can actually be seen. There we go. Want people to know who done drew it.
Yep. Well, as you may be very well winding down this chat stream in a little while, I may stop the stream for a little while I set us up for finishing up. Well, we've not got much to talk about, and I've asked people for questions, and no one's saying anything. So I might just go over to a normal stream after this and finish up some commission artwork.
I think I'll, considering this is a do it on a stream jobby, I think I'll finish this another time. Ooh. Ah, interesting. Rob. Ah, that's why I was using Rona's secondary eye color instead of Rob Bunny's primary eye color.
Oh no.
I've got this method of doing the secondary eye color thing from B&A,
Oh, brand
and
new
it's
animal.
a very brand new animal. Yeah,
Oh, did someone just come on? I thought I had a third voice.
I didn't.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a very easy, cheap technique to making you see more detail than's actually there.
Hmm.
Because it's better to draw in a way that makes you see detail that isn't there than put detail that nobody sees.
Hmm.
It's drawing the smart way around.
Where are you?
Mm. think their chest has got bigger. Down the Alt key and drag the handles. No, because if you hold the Alt key whilst moving whilst transforming it, you can move the corners individually without scaling it properly.
Okay, well that didn't want to do anything there.
Should be.
No, it didn't.
Let me just check mine. Control T. Yeah, it works.
When you've got the basic object highlight.
Right, you have to press Control T to transform. Or you just go Edit Transform, but I'm so used to just going Control T. Because it just, well, it's right there on the keyboard.
I want free transform.
Yeah, that's essentially what it, holding Alt does. It swaps between regular transform and free transform. It's quite useful.
There you go.
Yep. And you can just fill the top with a bit of white
What is
afterwards.
Whisker Haven then, Cryo? Sorry, he's asked, has anyone seen Whisker Haven, and there's no explanation of what Whisker Haven is. Cryo, what is Whisker Haven? Allow me to explain, he says.
Well, depending on whether it's touch typing or hunting and pecking, depends how long that's going to take.
Lots of sleepy bunnies out today. Apparently it's a Disney series about cute and adorable animals called Palace Pets. So why isn't the series called Palace Pets then? Is my immediate question.
I didn't know Disney was allowed to do flash tweening.
What do you mean?
I'm looking at the trailer. It looks very stiff and cheaply made for Disney.
Let's have a quick look myself. Oh, come back here.
I mean, it's not the anime. I've seen a lot worse animations, but Because it's Disney making it, the standard is very, very low by Disney standards.
Oh dear lord. I thought it was like some kind of My Little Pony knockoff there, but no, that just happens to be a similar look an episode.
Yeah.
Well, I think Hell of a Boss has more frames per second.
There's the when they run and all the rest of it, they're clearly as I say, it's incredibly cheaply done for a
Hmm.
Disney production.
Yeah. Oh dear lord. Nope, stopping that because I have standards. They're not very good standards, but I have them.
Well, I think those standards involve characters having the biggest breast you can get away with.
And that you'll
I
let me
mean,
get
unless I'm
away
very
with.
wrong. So what?
And that you'll let me get away with. Yeah, keep an eye out, guys, for our first proper collaboration, I suppose. It would be, wouldn't it? Really, that's going up for sale.
Yeah.
It's called Accept All Cookies, and it will hopefully, before the end of the year, be ready for some form of distribution.
Somewhere, somehow, in some place, at some time.
Well, that's about the accuracy you get from Valve when it comes to new Half-Life games.
No, you don't even get that.
No, coming soon, registered trademark.
No, you don't even say coming soon. It's just that you don't even say it's coming. It just expected that it's coming, and then it either arrives or it doesn't.
No, that's the thing, that for a very long time, Half-Life 3 was coming soon, wasn't it? TM.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of sad that Half-Life 3 has become essentially the replacement Duke Nukem Forever.
What was it that you actually said? It's just Half-Life 3 now that's spinning its wheels in the long lost is this ever actually going to happen list. Because we've had Duke Nukem Forever now, for all the good that's done us, and we've had
Yeah.
we've had The Last Guardian, a story about a newspaper. We've had most of them, I suppose. We have had most of them. Oh, you see, the issue there was Metroid Dread was supposed to be Metroid Prime 4. That's what we were all expecting. That's what we'd all been hoping for. But we didn't get Metroid Prime 4. We got Metroid Dread. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's not quite the thing we were
Same
hoping
thing.
for.
Like being expected to being taken out for a good meal and ending up at McDonald's instead. I'm assuming. From context.
Hmm.
Leave that there. So when I do real stream, do one of my own streams, I can shake the heck out of good Sapphire.
There we go. And how does that look, guys? Shelter?
It's looking decent.
Anything you think I need to work on before it's basically just done?
I would say need some shading in the ears, where the edge, especially where it meets the head and the uh, thicker part of the ear where it goes that shiny stuff. See what I mean?
Yeah. Hang on a second.
Uh, uh,
That's the wrong side, really.
I mean, this is where I would typically use the hard calligraphy pencil.
Hmm.
You also need to add some shadows from the hair and on the hair.
Yes, I have done. I think because she got black hair, I think she needs highlighting more than anything else.
What I mean is the hair isn't casting a shadow on her face.
Yes, it is. Oh, there's a little bit there that I hadn't done. Oops, that's the wrong layer. Ah, okay, got a question from Hop. How do I draw big characters and get them to look right? In what sense right, and what sense big? We're talking like macros, or we're talking about... Ah, so overly buff characters and stuff like that then.
In regards to pushing a character, physical traits beyond that to which uh, you can do it because it's different traits required and proportions require different things to make it kind of visually work. The best thing I can suggest is to look at other examples of how other people do it for inspiration. Take the bits that work and try out that technique and try it out in very simple form a bunch of times, and then just don't push it as far as they have, and then just push it a bit more and a bit more and a bit more and a bit more and a bit more until what you're doing breaks, and then go back a step. And that's how far you that's how you learn how far that method can be used to push a character's physical appearance and still work. In terms of because for breast and buffness are going to be two very different things. Because basically, the more insanely large you go with breasts, the less real world physics applies. Because if you were to go real world physics, you'd end up with just massive droopy knee wobblers and no actual broadness. That's no fun to look at or to fantasize about. So you just basically make them a bit more balloony than they otherwise would be. But the more you balloon front of a character out, the more you got to kind of counteract by making them the rest of them match. So, for example, there's no point having a stick figure woman like this giving her absolutely massive gajungas because she's not balanced out at all. I mean, you can because it's fiction, but with breast, what you've got to bear in mind, I think, is that it's connected here on the chest. So all your lines are going to come out from there, even if you expand it. You might find if when you're pushing one thing to an extreme, it makes other things break. So you then have to, say, push other things to the extreme as well. Might have to give her extra wide hips and really emphasize things you wouldn't otherwise necessarily emphasize.
I think if you're trying to show proportion, that a person is stupidly tall, and slightly off proportion, smaller head. It's not. It's not technically correct, but it is a shorthand way of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're going to reduce the size of the head, you also need to deliberately cartoonize the proportions of the rest of the character. Otherwise, it looks weird. It's like putting a cartoon face on a photorealistic body. It doesn't work. But if you make things generally not right, the existence of a small head doesn't fight so much. But you can especially get away with it more if you also uh, put some kind of reference to say that actually the head is normal size. It's the body that's insane.
It works better with tall people and not quite so well with macros. It gets to a point where it just looks weird. Unless it's deliberate.
One thing I found experimenting with muscles is if you want to make the arms look more, the wider you want to make something, the more chunky you want to make it, you basically you don't you when you bulk out, you bulk out sideways, you don't bulk out upwards. That's realism, isn't it? But we're not dealing with realism, we're dealing with fantasy. So what you can do is you can start by doing that, and then you can bulk out certain bits in terms of length. So, for example, this sketch here, I'm going really, really heavy with the muscle sizes, more heavy for me. I notice that the limb parts are actually quite small. But what I'm doing is I've actually made the arms quite big. The hands are small, but the arms are actually, in terms of length, massive. That's, one way you can push proportions. Because when you're talking about breaking proportions, what works for one person doesn't always work for everybody in terms of what they like to see. Because you're talking about bending reality to suit personal tastes. And not everyone's going to agree with, what rating of reality makes good.
It's like with this one I've just done. The super elongated torso doesn't necessarily work. The torso needs to be broader, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it that sort of elongated make the extend the midriff something that I personally really don't like.
Now, So what we're going to do is briefly, just bring that up to there. She is still super tall, but now she's got more realistic proportions because her chest cavity isn't quite as long before you get to her abdominal cavity.
See, whilst that doesn't have the nice ins and outs, I find it more acceptable because it doesn't feel so wrong. For other people that see the previous one and go, I don't care that it looks wrong. I care more about it going in and out. I'm, in my personal opinion, I think that is wrong, but we're dealing with fantasy, so
Yeah. We've also got more implicit rather than explicit. Implicit and explicit are very different ways of indicating things. Her curves are implicit because the angle that her hips are at when they form out from her body, because the human body has a habit of forming, for the most part, smooth curves, doesn't it?
especially the female body.
Yeah.
Men's bodies tend to be more angular.
Yeah. Whereas explicit is you need to show it, and there are plenty of people out there who do very impressive explicit character shapes. But when you start to take them apart, you go, this person's torso this person seems to be about 10 feet tall from shoulder to hip, and a grand total of 15 foot tall. Because of the positioning of everything. Naming no names.
Yeah.
The other one to remember as well is arm length. Your arms come to just the base of your rib cage, essentially.
Yeah, if you use your own body as reference, take your elbow, put it straight to the side of your body, and see where it comes. And with me, it just clips my hips.
You see, with me, it comes to just below my rib cage.
Yeah, but then I have unusually large arms, which is why I tend to draw my characters with slightly larger arms, because
Longer.
it's just normal to me that that's how long arms should be,
Yeah,
because that's what I live with.
Yeah, but that's not larger arms, that's longer.
Yeah.
I mean, larger
Larger
arms
is a
would
form,
be...
longer is a form of larger.
Well, larger arms would be this. With biceps and all that. It's like saying, I'm going to the swimming pool to swim length, and then you do from side to side in the pool. And when someone asks, you say, well, it's a kind of length. It's not a depth. Tails are one of the most fun ones for proportions screwing up, because there's no set length for a tail for a character, essentially. They're as long as or as big as the character wants.
Extreme hips are another fun one, because you can always give the like the Pixar hips where you basically got a tiny rib cage, or an enormous set of hips and bum. And one of the things with that is you've basically got tiny, your legs are going to come down to a point where the foot is, and then you can just say, right, that's where the knee is. And then just come in, up, and in as need be for the knee joint. One of the things that's also worth knowing regarding pushing something beyond its limit is you need to know what the rules are before you break them. Because if you don't know what the rules are before you break them, you won't know when they're broken and to what extent you can break it. Or, put another way, learn to walk before you run. Right. One really, really simple example of how to draw a good average sized woman's chest is basically draw a hill on the front of. So if I draw a literal pill here, and then I just rub out top of that pill, and a bit there, and up and oh look! Now all I've got to do is draw where the shadow would be underneath. Put bottom of a curtain. Oh look! Half decent pair of boobs. And just maybe bend it in a bit because the torso's curved. I mean, I don't tend to draw it like that. I tend to know that's what the shape is and just put the relevant bits in, but I do that so you can see what's actually going through in my mind.
There's another one as well. Difference between a more male shape and a more female shape is you can make a female shape up from a series of triangles and diamond shapes much more easily. Whereas if you want to do a really big man, you want rhomboids. For the over-exaggerated characters. So she's made up of essentially a series of triangles, and he's made up of essentially a series of rhomboids or squares. Because when you do his shoulders, and then go on down to arms and stuff like that. These are all shorthand stuff essentially as well though. Right, I think I am going to be stopping the chat stream in a moment unless there's any more questions we can do, and then I'll be moving on to a regular stream. and let Shelter go off and do his own regular stream if he wants to.
I probably should be doing some commission work.
Yeah. In that case, guys, I think we're going to be knocking that part on the head, and I shall be back in about 5 minutes to return you to your regular, scheduled, completely random to any time of the day or month stream. I'd like to thank Sheltar again for joining us. I'd like to thank Basil for joining us earlier. I'd like to thank you all for your contributions. This will be going up on YouTube. Hopefully anything that we talked about tonight, which I can get links to, I will be sticking in to that so that they can be, you can have a look at them at your leisure. And I wish you all good night. Say good night, Shelter.
Right.
See you soon, guys.